Welcome back. We have the movie guys with us who assure me that they're normal today. I'm going to be so disappointed. I can't tell you how disappointed I'm going to be.
We're actually very normal today, and in fact,
right.
We know that it's a little strange for you to be Danless.
It is.
And it's strange
It's
for
tough.
us to be Danless.
It's tough for you to be without Dan. It's tough for us to be
I know,
without Dan.
because you can't pick on me like you picked on Dan because I'm not like Dan.
He is but we all endeavor to be a little more like Dan.
I endeavor to be more like Dan every day.
As do
Do
I.
you now?
Mm-hmm.
We're always trying to
okay.
find small ways that we can be more like Dan.
And so in his honor today, we are, of course, going with multicolored socks. Because that is the way of the Dan.
It was his fashion statement a couple of weeks ago.
So we thought this would make you a little bit more
A little more
comfortable.
feel a little more like home.
Oh, guys, this is done. Why did
Are
you
you
come
at
on?
ease? We could notice that with the last guest, you're a little nervous.
Yeah, right. Yes.
You're having a little
yes.
trouble talking to that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
But we
I
thought
wish
this
you had
might.
come on first. That would have broken the ice and everything would have been great. Yes.
Understand.
Well, we've heard you've
Yes.
done a fine job.
Oh, well, we've had fun today. Steve Bebb was a dear friend of mine, and I hope I don't ever get in trouble and have to have the DA after me,
It's understandable. It's understandable.
But movie-wise, what have we got going?
Well, we've got 3 movies today.
Oh, 3.
3, I know,
Oh,
it's a
my
big
goodness.
weekend. We've only
Okay.
had
Yeah.
one for a few weeks
I
now.
That's
know
right.
it.
3.
Well,
Three.
the first one is kind of a little one, but it's called Conan O'Brien Can't Stop. And this is a documentary that it followed Conan O'Brien in the months following his departure from NBC. And in this documentary, they follow him when he took his show on the road and started going to all the different theaters and actually performing a live stage show. And this is a documentary that sort of follows that emotional journey of having been, having
Ousted.
experienced such a rough departure from
Right.
somebody in front of so many billions of people.
Now, is he going to do, is it stupid things like those little commercials that were on TV?
No, it's
Well,
it's
no,
actually a
no. This is
documentary.
an
okay.
actual
Okay.
documentary.
All right.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that most of your audience won't know who Conan O'Brien is. The
Because
fact
if
is
you're
that
up
he,
this early, you
right,
weren't up that late.
Right, he is actually a television
Yes, he is.
personality
Yes.
who comes on after 10 o'clock at night when most of the people who watch this show have gone to bed.
That's right.
Right.
But
and if
for,
they're going to be hosting
you know,
this show, they have definitely gone to bed.
Right,
Right.
exactly, exactly. Sometimes when Dan Howe would be reading the magazines and such, he'd say, "Who is this Conan?" And I would say, "Well, Dan, he's someone who comes on TV after 10 o'clock," and Dan's response would be, "Nothing good could happen after 10 o'clock."
Right.
So-
Well, and there was the one time when he said, "I thought Conan was a barbarian."
Right, exactly.
That was a little strange.
It was awkward. But I'm giving this movie a great, Nancy.
Are you?
I am. I really want to
Okay.
see this film. I think that the subject matter is interesting, and it looks like it's not just a comedy. It really is a true documentary about what it would be like to get fired from your job in front
yes.
of the entire
In the-
country.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the entire world.
And
Yes.
I'm saying great also. I think I actually got to see his live show in Atlanta at the Fox Theater, and it was really interesting to see. I mean, you could tell he was going through something emotional about it.
That has to be very traumatic.
Yeah.
Now, is this a full-length
It is.
documentary?
It is.
Okay, so we're looking at an hour and a half
Right.
of,
And it's
of
it's
Conan.
directed by the guy who directed Leprechaun 2. I don't know if that's
Which means big win. Because if you don't like Leprechaun 2, you don't like movies. Then that's a fact.
I didn't see 1 or 2.
That's
I'm
all right.
so
Are you
sorry.
kidding me?
No, I'll see if I can get the DVD.
Okay, good.
Okay, yeah. I go with your all's recommendation. Okay, that's our first movie.
That's
Okay,
right.
second movie.
Our second is Bad Teacher, and this stars Cameron Diaz and Justin Timberlake and a guy named Jason Segel. And this is about a group of bad teachers, and it's
Right.
also a raunchy romantic comedy where Cameron Diaz, who is like 80, falls in love with Justin Timberlake, who is
Right.
12.
Right.
She plays this alcoholic, angry woman who loses her sugar daddy, basically, and
Right.
so she has to go back to teaching, but she hates teaching. She doesn't enjoy teaching, so she is a bad teacher. Pretty
Right.
clever use of the title,
Right. And Justin
Right.
Timberlake is like the sexy young substitute teacher,
And he's very wealthy.
and she falls for him.
Oh, okay. So we
Right.
have a couple of storylines going
So
on.
it's
Right.
kind of all about the way that a bad teacher would entice a good teacher to become romantically involved, if you know what I'm saying.
I do.
Now, unfortunately, it looks like it's trying to be a raunchy comedy like Bridesmaids or The Hangover. However, it's not sporting an R rating. And it's really hard to be a raunchy comedy if you can't really be raunchy.
There you go.
And so I think both of us have the fear that what it's trying to be, it's fundamentally not able to from the start.
Yeah, I think that on every single level, this trailer fails. Number one, the fact is that she's not very
Young or attractive
anymore. Cameron Diaz is kind of falling apart, to
Right.
be honest with you. It looks like years and years
It's
of
called
Hollywood
gravity.
makeup are taking their toll.
Gravity grabs you.
And it's just really hard. You know, I don't know if you've seen these trailers, Nancy, but there's actually a scene where she's out trying to seduce Justin Timberlake, so she holds a car wash. And so it's like your typical old school 1980s.
It's like a 1980s
She's like
power
spraying
ballad video,
water
you know,
in the air, and water is on her body, and
her shorts are a little too short, her shirt's a little too tight.
And there's a cop going by, and he crashes his car because she's supposed to be so hot. And the only thing is, you wonder, what's he really looking at? Because it's not her. It's not
Sounds
her.
a little juvenile to me.
The film looks like a car crash.
Okay, so
giving it a hate.
A
Great.
down.
Or
Okay.
hate. Oh, I almost said great. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and
Yeah,
so
no.
So now, and our
Can
third
you answer?
one.
Wait, before we move
okay.
on, can you answer a question for us?
I'll try.
We had heard that Bad Teacher was loosely based on your life. Is that true?
No, actually, I was an excellent teacher.
I heard that this is similar, except you would take out that part and add in the art and frame store.
No, I was actually an excellent teacher.
Okay, we're gonna find out.
Yes, you can ask. In fact, let me refer you to one of my students, the sheriff of McMinn County, Joe Guy.
Who we
one of
thought
my
was the
students.
guy that wrecked his car.
Right in the film.
No, that would not be Joe. In fact, I still call him Joey, but he's the sheriff now, so he's Joe.
Sure.
Okay. Well,
All right.
there's one
So
more
he's one of
film.
my- there's one.
There
right.
is. Now this one is the big one.
Okay.
is-
All right.
This is, of course, Pixar's new film, Cars 2. Have you seen the first Cars?
No, but I have seen the little trailers for Cars 2.
Sure. Well,
And it looks real cute.
yeah. Well, this one stars the voices of Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy.
I thought that's who the wrecker truck is. Larry
Yep,
the Cable
that
Guy.
is true.
Okay.
That
all
is,
right.
and Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are no
Sir Michael.
I started to say, big man Michael
Right.
Caine?
That's right.
Sir Michael.
Okay,
Caine,
and
yeah.
he is the voice of what kind of little
We
car
think
did they
he's the
give
voice
him?
of one of the spy cars.
Right.
Oh,
There's
okay.
they're in England this time.
Right.
All right.
And so he's sporting his natural British accent.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Now, this
Okay.
this movie, of course, is directed by John Lasseter, as are most of the Pixar films. And, Pixar has quite a track record. In fact, interestingly enough, the only film Pixar has made that ever did poorly, and by poorly, we just mean it did okay, was the first Cars. And so a lot of people are questioning, why would you make a sequel to your lowest grossing film? When you could make a sequel to The Incredibles or, any of these other films that did really, really well. And the answer actually is because it is, while it was their lowest grossing film, it is the movie that made the most money from merchandise.
And the reason for that really is pretty simple, because what was brilliant about what Pixar did was in the merchandising, they really kept it going. There are still new cars coming out now. And so it didn't matter if a little kid went to see the movie or not. Every little kid really likes cars.
Right.
Just in general. And every kid really likes cars with happy smiley faces.
right.
Of course they do. I mean,
Yep.
even adults would like cars with happy smiley
So
faces on
it's
them.
marketing genius.
And a lot of little kids, there are little kids, at 5 years old who won't choose the superhero action figure. They're
Right.
not going to
True.
choose the Thor or the Captain America
Very true.
figure. They're going to choose the car with the smiley face.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And don't we have those at some of the drive-throughs, like the McDonald's and others?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you could go through and you get your little Happy Meal and a car.
That's right.
Okay, so it's one of these cars from the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
So as you can see, gajillions of dollars.
Oh, yes.
You know that's a real word.
Yes.
Gajillions.
It is. It is. It comes
Gajillions.
somewhere
You're a
after
teacher, you know
trillion after on,
She knows
on
this.
out there.
And of course, that word comes from ka-ching.
Right. Well, I'll tell you.
Where we are.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Here's the interesting thing for me. I thought that the first Cars was pretty okay. But to sum up Cars 2 and why I'm giving this movie a great instead of a hate, even though Cars 1 was maybe a little flimp, is that the other day my 7-year-old came in the room and he said, Daddy, I really want to see Cars 2. Well, I said to him, why, Rusty, would you want to see Cars 2? You didn't like Cars 1. And he said, yeah, but you know how if you take talking cars and you put them in the desert and then they fall in love, that's pretty boring.
Which is the plot of the first film.
Okay.
I said, yes. He said, well, I think if you take cars and you put rockets on them and let them fight, that's pretty awesome.
There you go.
And that's the plot of the
and that's the
second
second
film.
one. So y'all are giving a great.
So I'm giving a great to this film. I really think that you're not going to give this film a second shot. I mean, Pixar has got to be aware of the flaws with the first film. You just have to be. You can't be a company like Pixar
That's exactly
and not be
right.
aware of the fact that that film didn't
And
do
the
so good.
huge changes to
Right.
the second film in
Yes.
in those areas, making it a spy thriller, clearly indicates that they get it.
Yeah.
You know?
And so they're
And
going
I
to
think it's
reboot
gonna
this
be
thing
cute,
right.
too.
So I just barely give it a great
Okay.
because I still think that it's still not going to overcome all of the flaws of the first film. But sometimes you have to judge a film based on what it's meant to do. And this movie is meant to sell Matchbox cars, and boy, it's selling the heck out of them.
And that is wonderful. And you guys have been so nice to me today. I really do thank you. I love the unmatched socks. That's great.
Anything we can do to make you comfortable,
I'm
Nancy.
so glad. Now, I think Dan will be back next week, so you can pick on him. I'm pretty sure that's right. But you guys have been wonderful. And
Great.
thank you all so much
Who was
for
this
coming
guy
on.
that was on before us?
He was from the museum center.
He's-
Don't you watch
I
this
know
show?
he's from the museum,
Ken
but
Cagle. He was
Ken
from,
Cagle.
Ken Cagle. He was from the museum.
Okay.
He made me nervous because he had so many notes, and I was like, I don't
Right.
have notes. What
But
do I
see,
do?
Should we bring notes next time?
Oh, please do. That will upset Dan because he has notes.
Is that what we need?
No,
Ken is
you
a
guys
little
are wonderful.
intimidating. He
You
wore a
guys-
suit coat.
You guys are wonderful. Well, the DA had on a tie.
Wow.
I know.
Well,
all right, folks. This is wonderful. This has been great. And
Can we
this
tell
is
folks where to
Friday.
find us?
Find you.
we're at lightscameracleveland.com,
Right.
or we're on Facebook at facebook.com/lightscameracleveland.
Or Twitter at LightsCamCleve.
Great. Thank you all so much. Thanks, guys. This was fun.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I really appreciate it. And we'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend.